You see, there was a point where everything just started to feel the same. Not in a big obvious way, nothing even really happened. It was more like I'd wake up, go through the day, do what I'm supposed to do, and then suddenly it's night again. And I couldn't really tell you what any of it meant. I was there, but it didn't feel like I was in it. Like I was just slightly out of sync with everything. And the weird part is, no one really notices that. Because from the outside, you're fine. You're still replying to messages, still showing up, still having conversations. So it's like, how do you even explain that something feels off? I don't think there was a moment where it suddenly got better. It wasn't like that. It was smaller. Like noticing things again, random things. The way light hits the room in the morning, or hearing someone laugh and actually paying attention to it. Little stuff like that. And I don't know why, but it started to feel different. Not better exactly, just less empty. And I guess that's when I started thinking more about everything. Like, what does it actually mean to feel like yourself? Not the version of you that people expect, but like you. Because I used to think that was something you figure out once, and then that's it. Like, you arrive at it. This is who I am. Done. But that doesn't really make sense anymore. Because I keep changing. The things I care about change. The way I think changes. Even the way I see myself. It's not the same as it was before. So then, what is that? Are you becoming someone new? Or just slowly understanding who you've always been? I don't know. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about other people too. Like how they see their lives, what matters to them, what they believe in. Because everyone seems to have their own version of things. Even if they don't say it out loud, you can kind of feel it in the way they talk or what they choose not to talk about. And I guess I'm curious about that. Like, what does life look like from their side? Do they feel like they understand where they're going? Or are they just figuring it out as they go too? Is there even a point where everything makes sense? Or do you just get more comfortable with not knowing? I think before, I was trying to find answers. Like, clear ones. Something I could hold on to. But now, I'm not so sure that's what I need. Maybe it's not about finding one answer. Maybe it's about hearing a lot of different ones. Seeing how other people make sense of things, what they hold on to, what they let go of. And maybe, somewhere in all of that, something will click. Not everything, just enough. Enough to feel like I'm moving. Because right now, I don't think I have it figured out. Not even close. But I'm trying. I'm listening more, paying attention, just trying to understand what it means to be here.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Dinish Muhammad Azim. I'm 28 years old. Currently, I'm a student at UBD, doing my final year's project lah. Where I'm in life, honestly, one word I can say is Alhamdulillah lah. Everything's, even though it seems macam everyone's ahead of me, but I need to know the fact that I'm I'm where I needed to be. Honestly, if I have to say, the war, it's kind of terrifying how a lot of the prophecies to macam came to light. It's something that macam aku ingat macam sampat ka aku ni macam taubat or something like that macam tu lah. Do I know who I am? It's hard for me to say. Sometimes I do know myself, but sometimes I don't know. It's depending on how I live my day-to-day life. Especially when I'm happy or in a good mood, I tend to know myself more. But when I'm down or when I sometimes look at the mirror, like, who the hell am I? Why am I doing this? But technically, for me, the way I see myself is like in normal. Sometimes I do love myself, sometimes I do hate myself. But in honesty, I'm just happy being with myself. I'm happy the way I am lah. Probably yes. I used to think that I'd be the type of person yang macam a lot of people look up to ka apakah. But now I feel like I'm just the person that people can just rely on lah. Maybe like macam just get advice from me apa I can provide them because technically I'm pretty I'm I'm old kiranya. I have I have this mindset that when you're old, people will look for you for guidance because you have more experience than the young people. So I assume that my role to a lot of my friends apa is to be someone to look for advice for. The little things like like going to the gym, buying my model kits, going back home to play games, eating my favorite food, going out with my friends. That little things give me meaning in life. Like so sembayang apa, did give at least give my life a bit of something new every day. Even the stress, I'm consider something I'm grateful for. Yes. Well, let's just say everyone has a purpose. It's just that they don't know the purpose. Yes. Here's a story for me. During my O-level years, I only got two O's. So for one whole year of my life, I was so lost. I don't know what to do in my life. I feel like my life end at that point. But Alhamdulillah, Allah gave me an opportunity to sambung belajar at IBTE. And from there, I take on electronic, the course is called electronic and media technology. So it's basically that's where my life started, where I know what I want to do. I want to be a photographer, a videographer, a graphic designer, anything around the creative industry. Thanks to that, thanks to that opportunity, I finally have like something to do in my life, a future to look forward to. Honestly, I'm Muslim. For me, I believe that everything I do is all in Allah's plan. Even the thing, I, I shouldn't worry about the future, nor I should worry about what's gonna happen. Especially worry about the future because let me say that I believe in Allah. I'm not worried about my future because I cannot control it. I can only control like a very small part of my future, which is my decision. But everything will be in Allah's hand. In Allah's hands. All I have to do is like do the best I can and ask guidance from Him. What's right and what's wrong? I do have a moral compass, but sometimes right and wrong is not black and white. It's sometimes gray. For example, let's just say to help a friend is to sometimes to show them that they are wrong. For me, to their eyes, it's look wrong, but it's the right thing to do. It's around that line. It's like right and wrong is so gray. It's actually very gray. It's how you view it, what's right and what's wrong. If it's benefit you and if that right benefit you, then it's good for you. But if it's benefit you only, it's kind of wrong, but not really. I don't know how to explain in depth. From my hard work, I'm guessing it's from the hard work I've been doing. Sometimes I do a lot of this work is to show everyone that I have value to them. For example, like doing the work at the UBD spectrum, I do a lot of work to show that I have value to other people. To help other people, I want to show that I have value to them. Like I'm not just some guy just standing there. People can ask me for help. I will do the best I can, even though I don't know what to do. Yeah, honestly, there's a moment where I start to view life differently. It's during my poly years, when I was, aku dah pilih jadi itulah, macam become a leader at this project. And from there, I just realized like macam to become a leader is not just to do, it's not just to macam apa namanya? It's not just to macam ask them to kau buat ni, kau buat tu, kau buat ni, kau buat tu. Turns out to be a leader is to show them, guide them, help them, and do not and try to be friends with them. Even though they're your friends, you are try not to think them, try to not be too lenient on them. Becoming a leader, I mean, when the opportunity for me to become leader, that where my perspective on life shifted a bit to see like just because I can do it doesn't mean he can do it. If someone have problem, I need to listen to them. Even though macam for example, he said that every day macam aku dah buat, aku sibuk. I can't just be like aku sibuk juga. Tapi kenapa aku dah buat? I need to know why dorang dah buat. Maybe dorang ada family problem, financial problem. I need to understand them because it's their life, not mine. I cannot tagor macam why can I do it and you can't. That's why macam I need to understand people. Just because dorang dah buat atau dorang malas buat doesn't mean macam they are a bad person. They probably have good reason why. But sometimes but sometimes I have to put my foot down. They keep on giving the same problem means macam either they take advantage of me, or dorang bana susah. Tapi you can see signs is dorang bana susah. They might still try to help. If they don't at all, which mean itulah, they're not used to you lah. That the world is fair. I used to believe that the world is fair, but the world is very much unfair. But it's fair in the eyes of Allah. It's fair, but astaghfirullah. But the way I see the world is unfair, because what I know is the world will reward the wicked rather than the kind. This is very easy. Allah. For me, every time I feel down or every time I feel I'm lost, I always go back to Him, no matter what. Because every time I sujud, right, I always ask, help me with this certain thing apa. And alhamdulillah, suddenly semua hilang tu. You guys should try lah. Macam if you benar-benar ke bawah, like not know where to go, you guys sujud and ask, Ya Allah, buangkan all of this feeling in my heart, make me it is. And you need to be 100% believe in Allah. Then you benar-benar hilang tu, the feeling of doubt apa. For me, every time I feel doubt, for example, now I have doubt with my project. I really have doubt with my project, but alhamdulillah, everything went well. The lecturer like it is because macam I ask Allah to ease my thought, ease my heart. That's right. You cannot know if you're on the right path. It's your path. It's never right or wrong. It's your own path. Even though it looks wrong, or it looks far, or it looks difficult, but it's your path. It's the path that has just been set for you. The only thing you can do, you can just walk it. What I want to tell yourself, don't worry. Everything's gonna be just fine. You shouldn't worry about that type of thing now. You just have to worry about growing up. Aside from my physics, I also want to keep my attitude towards the world. I want to show the way I show the world is I want to show the kindness to the world, because I feel like the world doesn't have a lot of kindness in it. So I hope I will keep my kindness to me till the end of my days. Am I doing the right thing? Am what I'm doing satisfied my life? Would it give me the thing that I want? Well, basically, it's boiled down to, am I doing the right thing with my life? I know it's not within my control, but it's something always in my mind, like every single day, is this the right path? Is this the right thing? Am I doing well? It's always about, it's kind of about me, myself. I want to know, am I doing the right thing? Especially that, yeah.
Okay, hello, I'm Claudia. I am from Venezuela. I'm a student in UBD and I've been living in Brunei for around 8 years. My biggest passion is studying and doing art. So I think I would describe it as the stage of growth. You know, as I'm still studying, I continue to learn new things every single day. And so I still get to think about what I want to do in the future, what type of artist I would like to be in the future, and what type of things I would like to focus on. Okay, so lately I've been very focused on my final year project. That's one of the biggest things in my mind lately. I'm working on 2 paintings and you know it's a big responsibility, so I've just been putting it above everything else right now. And you know, as I mentioned, although I love art and painting is one of my favorite things to do ever, I still think that it can become a really tiring and draining task at times. So for the most part, I think I do. You know, I have had a lot of different interests, different favorite artists, musics, you know, things I'm into, friends, experiences, and they have, of course, shaped the way I am today. And although I have outgrown a lot of them and I'm not into them anymore, I just still think that, you know, they have helped me realize what I'm into, what I like, what I don't like. So they help me know and avoid things that I know that just will do me no good. And I also get to know what brings me genuine happiness. I know what I like and I don't like. Yes, it definitely has. And I think one of the main reasons for me personally is because of the fact that I had to, you know, leave my country from a very young age to move to Brunei. And that obviously made me see a lot of new things that I hadn't seen before in my country. I was one person when I came here trying to adapt, trying to, you know, get used to a whole new culture very different from my own. And then as I finally adapted, I was a different person. Then when I left school and started uni here in UBD, a whole different person as well. And even now with a whole new ideas and just a lot of things that I left behind as well, I do consider myself a whole different person. So yes, definitely. So yes, I do. I think that's one of my biggest beliefs as well. I do think that everybody has their purpose, and I know that it can also be very hard for, you know, each person to see their purpose in their own lives. I do think that everybody has done something to support what they were brought here for. Okay, so personally, I don't think I have. At least now, I think I'm confident with where I am, and thankfully, because I'm doing what I like. I do think that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I feel genuine happiness and support from my family, friends. I know that I'm doing what I like, so I think I am on the right path. So to answer your question, no, I don't think I have. So personally, for me, it's my faith in God is what guides me and helps me. So I always try to follow His word and let that be what guides me to know how to treat people and just, you know, live life. I always try to live with humility and kindness because I believe those are the values that God teaches. As I said, I like to follow the word and let that shape me as a person. So again, from my faith, but also from my family and my culture. So I am very proud to be from where I'm from, Venezuela, and I think that's one of the most influences that I have in my life. My family living there, and although I'm not there anymore, I still try to keep, close to my own culture and never forget where I'm from. And of course, living in Brunei, I have had to adapt many times and just try to live with a whole new kind of way and lifestyle with new ideas and beliefs, but I always still try to, of course, keep my own culture always close to me and, try to live like that with how I grew up. Yes, I think the most relevant one, again, was when I had to leave my country to move to Brunei. I think that was the period of time where I was very aware of my own identity, and I realized how very different people can be all around the world. It was my first time leaving my country, of course, and it was also interesting because I was able to compare the very different social situations at the moment. So when I came here, it was very peaceful here. In my country, it was actually going through one of the roughest and most intense periods of the Venezuelan crisis. So it was, very intense for me to compare how different these two places were at the same time. And it also felt a little bit sad leaving my family behind. And, they were living like this, but I was actually in a very peaceful country. So I think that's the most relevant one that made me, it really opened my eyes at such a young age, I think. So I used to believe that you had to be liked by everyone and you needed everybody's approval, but I've realized that it's not like that, it's not possible. Again, living in Brunei with a lot of different beliefs and contrasting from my own, I have realized that it's not possible and it's normal to not agree with everything that everybody else says. Again, for me, it's God. So whenever I feel uncertain, I always try to reach out to Him and just leave all my worries to Him and, try to just fully trust Him and know that, it's His plans and He will know what's good for me or not. So I would tell my younger self, it doesn't matter how many people you surround yourself with. People come, people leave. I think the most important thing is that you stay true to yourself, what you believe in. Do not let people change who you are or what you believe in. I think it would be my ability to see the bright side of things. So although I still like to think realistically and logically, I still like to believe that things will turn out great and everything will be okay, with a positive attitude and just believe that everything will turn out great. I think, that's important. I think for now, my biggest uncertainty, because I'm not from here, right? So I still don't know if I'm gonna stay here for longer and like in Brunei or go back to my country and, just like everything going around in the world right now. I don't know where I'm gonna be living like even next year. So I think that's just my biggest focus right now, where I'm gonna live, where I'm gonna study, where I'm gonna work, where I'm gonna, am I gonna still be with my family. It's just the near future, not even like in 10 years, just like literally next year. That I think, just seeing everything around happening in the world and especially in my country as well, there's a lot of things going on there. That's something that I think for Venezuelans, that keeps us up at night. That's one of our biggest worries right now, especially if you're not in your country, like if you're outside your country. I think that's my biggest concern. Yeah, it's a question versus a concern. I think that's it.
Okay, saya Muhammad Nur Syazwi Misharuddin, umur 28 tahun dan saya student UBD final year, major design creative industry. Dalam hidup as in circle aku lah, sekelilingku. Diorang ada yang kawanku kerja sudah, ada yang ada family sudah. So kalau aku kinda like macam masih life belajar lah, masih study. So aku ambil slow pace lah daripada orang lain. Tapi alhamdulillah it's okay lah, rezeki kau kan juga. It's okay. Alhamdulillah mental okay, tapi adalah certain time tu macam ada certain time ku down juga, ada certain time ku happy juga. So but kalau mental state masa ni okay lah, I guess. Macam dia juga too sure macam I'm okay, but at the same time pun macam ada tough times juga lah. Yeah, and then that's life lah. My mind lately there's too much lah. Selalu fokus arah kerja, study. So lately kan aku final year. Macam in my mind tu mau siapkan final year, fokus arah final year saja. Terlalu fokus arah study lah, study and project. So at the same time pun kan cuba relaxkan diri tu, bagiku dah banyak masalah. Because I think too much on the finish line instead enjoy what's life going right now. Aku tahu dulu few years back, I think time during COVID kali, macam this is based on my itulah. Kan I used to, aku dulu pernah kerja for 2 years, and then what's going on masa tu macam I've been feeling ni orang imposter syndrome. So even though my achievement di sini sudah, but at the same time aku macam aku in the accept this pasal I feel like ada someone deserve better than aku. But now macam once ku sambung belajar sudah, I started to accept dia lah, macam this is who I am right now. This is what I am lah. But sometimes aku malah mikir of pandangan orang lain. Macam if aku macam ni, how would people look melihat aku? Macam diorang suka aku kah? Ataupun diorang dia suka aku? So sometimes aku macam being judgmental lah. Depends on how they look at me. But in the end still aku accept as I am lah. To be honest pernah. I did pernah once lost. Macam aku feeling there was a time that macam during COVID, macam after I quit kali, lepas aku berhenti, I was macam feeling lost lah. Macam aku that's the time looking back balik, macam aku hilang the purpose of life. Macam I don't know apa aku akan buat in the future, considering macam umurku cuma ni. And then I keep compare sama orang lain. Macam orang lain stage sini sudah, ada yang stage sini. So aku macam kenapa aku slow, or macam kenapa aku lambat at this stage. So I was getting macam lost lah at the time. So ya ada macam once ada that emotional support dari family, dari kawan, di sana aku realise macam di sana dorang menolong aku lah of purpose. Macam di sini ada banyak tujuan, ia just bagi buka suggestion saja di mana where kau kan proceed your next purpose of life, macam goals lah macam tu. Ini yang ku kena ajar dari Damit. Ini again dari my mom lah, dari mamaku. Always be kind, satu. Selalu sentiasa bersopan santun, baik kepada orang. So, I mean, ya, dan baik sama orang lah. No matter ya tua ke Damit. And one thing ku realise macam I think last year ataupun ni some ada kawanku macam cakap lembut jua cara kau cakap mana satu terlalu soft macam cara aku bergaul sama orang, dan aku macam pasal tu kena ajar dari Damit, so jangan cakap kasar satu. Anang sentiasa kan selalu cakap arah lindung, mesti jangan kasar. So dari sana lah, as in verbally communication. So macam one atau yang main principle aku lah, be kind to others, itulah, always be nice, no matter kalau kena pijak kah ataupun kena bully kah or something. If pegangkan that prinsip itu, being kind, being nice, mesti ada ganjarannya lah. One moment yang change my life macam tu. There's banyak pelang, tapi one yang paling besar ni macam dia pelang besar, tapi as in the people evolve around me lah, macam kan has been aku kerja or interact or social, kadang-kadang aku melihat dunia ni macam it's terlalu two-sided, macam hitam putih, macam ada right, ada wrong, and then tahu kenapa lately macam ramai yang rude people, yang orang jahat-jahat ni macam makin dorang nampak lah, rather than yang nice people. Macam ada ke orang-orang baik sana ni, and then ada yang small interaction, and this one interaction inilah yang bagiku macam mana-mana sadar diri. So aku ni nolong, so aku bertolong ni ia macam macam ni lah berumur. So ia macam ada kereta kesian sebenarnya, and then macam ia jalan di jalan raya lah, macam out of nowhere, macam selalunya aku avoid lah jatuh macam tu. Tapi masa tu macam tergerak hatiku, macam aku really mau benar-benarkan tolong macam tu. Dan so aku bawa dia itulah, bawa dia masuk, hantar dia somewhere, and then dia cerita pasal dia punya life lah macam tu, macam susahannya macam tu. And then once aku hantar dia ada destination ni, dia Kanaga, and then dia ada peluang bayar bagi duit or anything, tapi ia benar-benar ia doakan itulah, ia bagi doa lah, macam very sincere. And then aku macam I think I was very emotional at that time juga. Aku benar-benar terharu. And then after that aku balik rumah, aku tidak dapat nangis. Aku dah pandai stop nangis, macam balik nangis. And then macam aku really appreciate yang there's kind people juga ada masih yang exist. So waktu yang benar-benar aku macam stick to my principle lagi, macam be kind, satulah. So pernah aku balik-balik if this situation macam kena tanya, aku masih ingat 12-year-old me yang aku ada buat roadmap of how the next 20 years maksudnya macam nak suruhnya lah. So macam ada kereta sudah, and then study di UBD, and then kahwin. As along the way tu adalah some detour juga. Tapi yang my younger self tu ini terfikir the process lah jalan sana. So ini dia tahu macam susahnya. Ada yang there's that moment yang paling yang very heavy lah. There's always gotta be ada moment macam tu. So supaya ia in the berapa overwhelm pressure, aku mau gitu ya macam it's gonna be alright. Yang itu hanya sementara saja, temporary. Macam enjoy life saja, jangan terlalu ambil serius. Enjoy lah, don't overthink too much, please, my younger me. So along the way tu memang ada yang bagi menyedihkan, bagi sakit, tapi look at the others bright side lah lagi. Enjoy your life pasal you're gonna make friends juga, family masih ada, masih alhamdulillah masih sehat. So syukurlah to my younger self juga sama aku masa ni. Ini kind of long term plan. Ia sentiasa always pop up lang. Aku tanya diriku. Tapi it always been not the perfect answer. Tapi yang tinggal is up to me lah. Is can I find true happiness saja. What does it mean maknanya happiness ni? Macam kalau aku berduit, macam more than enough, aku masih happy kah? Kalau aku macam statusku macam famous atau successful, is aku masih happy kali? Tak tahu. Di sana lah macam aku pelang. Happiness ni kadang-kadang orang cakap it's in the moment, tapi what about long term lah, in the next life or macam tu. So itu yang masih aku mikirkan true happiness lah. Even though I'm okay, alhamdulillah, but it's just that I guess we'll never know lah kalau yang true answer ikut seorang-seorang kan. So aku pun still trying to find out apa yang true happiness was all about.
I've been thinking a lot about what everyone said. Not just the words, but the way they said them. The pauses, the moments where they had to think, the parts they weren't sure how to explain. It made me realize something. No one really has a clean answer. Not in the way I thought they would. Everyone's just working with what they have. Their own experiences, their own beliefs, their own way of making sense of things. And somehow, that's enough for them, or at least it's enough to keep going. I used to believe that there was a point where everything would just click. Like one day I wake up and finally understand who I am, what I'm supposed to do, what all of this means. Like there was some kind of finish line. But listening to everyone, I don't think that moment really exists. Or maybe it does, but only for a second. And then it changes again. And weirdly, that doesn't scare me as much anymore. If anything, it's kind of comforting. Because it means I don't have to have everything figured out right now. Or ever, really. I can just move. Learn something, unlearn something, change my mind. Be wrong sometimes, probably a lot of the time. And that's okay. I think what stayed with me the most wasn't any specific answer. It was just how different everyone's answers were. Some people found meaning in structure, some in freedom, some in faith, some in doubt. And none of them felt incomplete. They just felt honest. And I think that's what I've been missing. Not certainty, just honesty. Being able to say, this is where I am right now, without needing it to be permanent, without needing it to be perfect. Because maybe that's all identity really is. Not a final version of yourself, but a collection of moments where you were paying attention, where you chose something, felt something, changed something. And it all just adds up over time. I don't feel lost in the same way I used to. I still don't have answers. Not the big ones anyway. But I think I'm okay with that now. There's something kind of exciting about it. Not knowing exactly where things are going. It makes everything feel a bit more alive. Like there's still something to discover about the world, about other people, about myself. I used to think I needed to find meaning. Now I think I just need to keep noticing it in small things, in passing moments, in conversations that stay with me longer than I expect. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's more than enough. At the end of the day, I'm still becoming.